My dad was a tough guy, Shanty Irish, child of the Depression, one of 6 kids. The other 5 were girls, so he had to be tough. Not abusive, just had a very low tolerance for bullshit and just silliness. We lived in Hawaii for a couple of years, and I had the opportunity to get a driver's license at age 15 without driver's ed, which was really cool. So I got a chance to use the cars. The one that I got to use the most of was a Fiat. 3 forward speeds, about the size of a Volkswagen, really cool. But it had a quirk. Every once in a while, it wouldn't start, okay? We took it to a mechanic. It wasn't electrical. It was a mechanical problem. He couldn't figure it out. It didn't happen very often, but it would happen when we least needed it not to. Okay, so anyway, my dad was an immigration officer, and they were very busy there because it's a big port, plus it was during Vietnam. People were coming back for R&R, and they had to check all the foreign crews. So, once again, his tolerance for bullshit was fairly low during that time. I had to go someplace. I went out. The Fiat didn't start. Okay, so the way we would get it started, or the way you do get a thing started when it has a problem like that, is it helps to be on a hill. Put it in neutral, push in the clutch, let it roll till you get about 15 or 20 miles an hour, pop the clutch, and you're off, okay? So Dad comes home, I have to leave. I said, hey, the Fiat won't start. Okay, let's get that son of a bitch moving and we'll get the show on the road. Okay, so we go out. The procedure is you turn the ignition on. We didn't have a hill, so he had to come in behind me with the other car, push me till we got up to speed, and then pop the clutch, right? So we go out. He comes up behind me. I got it in neutral, clutch in, get up to speed. He backs off, pop the clutch, nothing. Okay, so he pulls in behind me again. It usually took no more than 2 times to get it done. So we repeat the whole process, pop the clutch, nothing. We went around the entire block. Up to speed, pop the clutch, nothing. And I'm looking up in the rearview mirror and I'm seeing my dad getting rather steamed, but I thought, we'll get it worked out when we get back. Okay. We pull in front of the house. He says, I don't know what's going on with this. I look down, and to my horror, I didn't have the ignition turned on. I said, I don't know either, man. He said, take the other car. I don't need it until later. So fast forward 45 years, and my mom and dad are visiting, and we're sitting around reminiscing about how things had, our experiences we've had. And my brother and I basically had, my mom and dad had certain expectations of my brother and I. Be respectful, always do your best, and be truthful. So we're sitting around talking. It wasn't a written down code or anything like that. It was just their expectations. And my mom was the one for reminiscing, and she said, remember the Fiat? What a nice little car. And my dad said, yeah, right, I remember the Fiat. I said, you probably don't remember this, but remember that time you came home and we had to go and jump start it and it wouldn't start? And he said, yeah, I remember that. I said, well, I have a confession to make. I didn't have the ignition turned on. And he slowly looked over at me and said, really? Well, why didn't you tell me? I said, I am. I just didn't want to do it back then. So, the moral of the story, and I'm sure you don't need me to give you morals, but the moral of the story is truthfulness is always acceptable, even if it shows up 45 years later. Thank you very much.